Hi, hello, and welcome to Quantum Healing Hands Tarot. Today is a super special reading. We are going to be getting a message from your inner child. So we all grow up and sometimes we lose a connection to that part of us that, believed in fairies and still made wishes on stars and, believed in a true goodness in the world. And I believe we need to stay connected to our inner child to make it through this world, because this world really tries to harden us and take that part away from us. And so if you feel like you've been maybe a little disconnected from that part of you, or you have always been connected to that part of you and you just want to hear maybe a direct message from your inner child, I have created 3 piles for that today. So if you already know just from looking at them which one you want, you can go ahead and pick in the timestamps down below. If not, we can go, if you need a little more help, let's walk through this. So the 3 piles we have today: 1, pretty sure this is Jasper; 2, this is Serpentine; and 3, this is Lapis Lazuli. So these are the 3 piles. Let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths so we can calm our nerves before really picking our pile. Okay. All right, let's begin. All right. So now that we've calmed our nerves, we can go ahead and pick a pile. So you can choose from which stone you like, which color you like, which pile you think looks the best. Just go with whatever feels most natural for you. I used to pick just kind of which pile I thought looked the most unique. It's kind of whatever you want the gauge to be. But I really wanted to start trusting my intuition more, so that's when I started with the technique where I will close my eyes, I'll breathe, and I will ask my higher self for which pile I should get. And generally, I will see a number in my mind's eye that kind of looks like when you look at light and you close your eyes and that image and shape is still there. So that's kind of what it looks like for me. So find out whichever way you get your answer, but I will recommend just always going for the pile that you instinctually felt first, because your instinct is usually the first answer, and anything talking you out of that answer is your ego. All right, so that was a lot of explaining for picking a pile, but sometimes people need help. All right. If you already know, timestamps are down below. Let's get started. Hi, Pile 1. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so honored to bring you a message today from your inner child. So we have the Red Jasper stone. It is a mighty stone. I have had this stone for nearly 10 years now. I got it at a farmer's market where the people there themselves actually mined this, and so it was a couple dollars, but it's a stone I use when I need to be grounded whenever I'm having my menstrual cycle and it's really bad, I will hold on to this. It's just kind of a stone that I feel really comforts in a time of pain. So if you're feeling in a time of pain, or just have been feeling sick, weak, let this stone bring life back into you, into your blood. I feel like it really enriches the blood. So maybe you need to find some red jasper, and if that is not possible, honestly, you could just go outside and find a stone, preferably something that is actually like native to the area and actually like from the ground. You know, rocks that have been imported in from other areas for like landscaping and stuff is fine, but if you're needing like serious grounding, finding a rock in your backyard, if you have a backyard, in your neighborhood, wherever you can. That is what this bad boy is saying. So, today we are going to be looking at messages from our inner child. So, I wanted to start off with the overall general message. So, just asked for one card that could give us a message of, like, what's the main message we're going for today. Alhaz. Be courageous. Fear is a necessary part of courage. Differentiate between what is yours and what belongs to others. Respect others' property and boundaries. Step forward and do what is right, even if others do not. Develop deeper connections with the plants and animals who share this planet. I stomp the ground, and my breath is like smoke. My head is steady, the points of bone turned outwards. My family is behind me, ancestors all. I can hear their breath, the beat of their heart behind me, and I step through my fear. I am Alhaz. Pile 1. So what I am seeing is I'm seeing a child who is feeling like when kids feel like they're not getting what they need, they're gonna take it. They're gonna start stealing, they're going to not play well with others, and I'm kind of getting the idea, I'm seeing this child who just wasn't given what they needed. And so it kind of created possibly a sort of kind of a bratty mentality. And it's like what people don't understand, adults don't always understand when they're calling kids brats, is why. Sometimes they're given too much and sometimes they're not given enough. And I do want to note, it reminds me of in the January 6th insurrection of the Capitol, there was a very famous guy that now anytime I see someone with horns on their head, it makes me think of him. But that individual to me is kind of representative of this child's spirit, of someone who just feels like they're being wronged. And the problem is when you're a child, you don't always understand why things are the way they are. And your feelings are not invalid. If this is you, if this energy is speaking to you, then please know I understand your feelings are valid. The people who swarmed the Capitol, regardless of it being accurate, they felt valid. And unfortunately, there's just better ways to go about communicating our feelings. And this card is talking about, this rune really is something that was like drawn on battle shields before going into war. And so it's definitely giving that energy of, hey, I am being neglected and I am gonna get what I want. This is a child's spirit of somebody who fights for what they want. So as an adult now, or possibly still pretty young, either early 20s, I'm just getting an energy that you are not necessarily somebody who is far beyond this energy still. I think your inner child is here to say, hey, I see you. Your inner child is here to say, hey, you're angry for a reason, don't forget. But also, you're growing up and it's time to have understanding for why bullshit happens the way it does, and how it's time to grow stronger rather than feed into that pain. So, because this is representative of someone who has overcome a lot. And so I think the message here is that you are overcoming it. I feel like you've been working on your anger and your reactions. You maybe used to blow up a lot more than you do now. Now the things that used to happen to you that would just have made you lose your mind, now it's just like, whew, you just breathe through it. And that's a lot of growth. But I think this inner child is here to say, like, hey, I get that you're still hurting. But I wanted more answers. So I said, where is your inner child feeling neglected and ignored? So with this question, this card is more so actually coming up in the reverse, because it's where you're feeling neglected. And so I feel, oh my gosh, what an adorable little puppy. I feel with this card here, your inner child is feeling like these fears that you have towards your future, these fears that you have are holding you back from moving forward. So what I'm seeing is I think you're still very hung up on this anger and hurt that you live with every day. And unfortunately, it kind of puts you in this place of, well, I can't do that because this happened. Well, this already happened to me, so. And your inner child just wants so badly for you to hear. I wanted to say, hear the call of the night. And by that, I think it's, one, maybe paying attention to your dreams. 2, trusting your inner voice and inner guidance. I feel like you very quickly go to a place that you aren't happy with your reactions. So you very possibly feel like you can't trust your intuitions because your reactions are typically not on point. But those are kind of they're from different things. Our reactions are from the way we're conditioned and programmed in our society. But our intuition, that's us. And that comes from the quiet voice that speaks in a whisper. I'm pointing to his stomach because, like, that's where my intuition, that's where they say you have your gut feeling, because your stomach has so many nerve endings, and it has its whole own communication system. And so the foods we eat and stuff is very important for actually being able to listen to our intuition. I feel like your inner child is feeling I feel like every once in a while, on a full moon kind of thing, a part of you comes out that you don't like. And I think you have been suppressing it. And the problem is, what I have learned, that just because you're feeling like this and you want to rip up a wrought iron fence, like you're so angry, you have so much anger inside. And you may just be wondering, how do I get rid of this without being angry and hurting the world? Well, I asked that question for you, and I got some cards. Let's find out what the cards say. Because I could give you my advice all day, but I wanted to know what the cards wanted to tell you. So pile 1. I feel like there is a part of you that also is afraid of your confidence. And I feel like you are worried that if you act too confident, people will think you're cocky. And I feel like you've been really holding back on going after something you've been really wanting, because you kind of have that thought of like, oh, well, who am I? And I'm kind of getting the impression that you felt that way about the people who raised you, of like, well, who are they? Who are they to treat me like this and act like this? And you're right. Nobody should treat you horribly. But this has kind of leaked over and has created this mentality of, well, if I were to go after my dreams, I would just be, you know, arrogant and like, and I think that is incorrect. I think it's time for you to really hone in on your confident energy. So the stance that he's standing in is, it's very similar to like the Superman pose, and there are these physical stances you can do, and you know, standing with your feet shoulder width apart and your arms out like at your side. They can be outwards, but just anywhere where you're opening your energy. And if you just imagine strength coming over you, if you just imagine yourself being so confident and strong in everything that you want to do, it works. And so this is a technique they teach. I feel like I've heard in like you know, really rich, fancy businesses. I'm wanting to say like Fortune 500 businesses, but I don't even know if that means anything. Your inner child is feeling neglected in the area of your fears. It's kind of like you have these worries and fears and you just have tucked them away. It's going to take a slow and steady mentality to plan out what you're wanting to do. Because honestly, you may not even know what you truly want to do because you've just been so angry at what, how you were wronged growing up. I truly feel like the way you, I don't even want to say it was the way you were raised, because I don't think that verbiage works, but while you were growing up and the people you saw your parents to be caused you to almost be a perfectionist. And so you have this thought process of, if I can't do it the best, I don't want to do it at all. And the problem with that is we have to actually do things poorly. You have to suck a lot to get good. And I'm pretty sure if I'm I want to say Kurt Cobain said that, but it may have just been my voice teacher who was obsessed with Kurt Cobain, so he quoted him all the time. But if it was, I'm pretty sure it's Kurt Cobain who said, you have to go into a room and suck for a really long time before you get good. And so maybe that's a message you needed to hear from good old Kurt Cobain. Maybe you've always wanted to play the guitar and be a rock star, and you have just kind of thought like, who am I? And if you love making music, do it. I think it was Jack Johnson that said all you need is 3 chords and a... No, wait, that was Bruce Springsteen. All you need is 3 chords and a story, or something like that. But it was Jack Johnson that pretty much made all of his songs like on like 3 basic chords. So you don't have to know a lot to get started. You just have to get started. So was a very specific message coming through. So where does your inner child feel seen and appreciated already? So what does your inner child want to say thank you for? Because you acknowledge it and treat it right. Where does your inner child feel seen and appreciated? So where your inner child is feeling loved and appreciated already, or seen pretty much, feels seen and appreciated, is with the Eight of Swords. Because I feel like when you were growing up, your inner child was blindfolded and bound and felt trapped, and I feel like as you were growing up, you were able to lift the blindfold off of yourself. You were able to look at the truth of things. And where this is hard is this is where your inner child grew up. Was when you finally stopped believing maybe that your parents were, when we're kids, we want our parents to be our heroes. And so I feel like your inner child is appreciative of you showing them the truth. I feel like you were able to, I feel like you were able to release the skeletons out of your own closet. And because you saw what holding something in would do. I feel like you were brave and you faced something that you saw no one facing growing up, and that's honesty and truth. And so I feel like you feel like the way you are honest with yourself is like factual. So you see the truth of your family dynamics and you know it's not healthy. But what you're not seeing is that you have allowed these boundaries and thought processes to almost mold how you go after your goals, as if going after your goals is equivalent to your family's unhealthy way of life, when they're not the same at all. So your inner child did need to know the truth. But it's important to stay connected and let your inner child still dream enthusiastically too. But you're grown now, so you know that it's going to take time and patience for anything. Do you want to learn how to shred on the guitar? It takes time. But every big journey begins with one step. So I wanted to know what oh my God, this was so hard for me when I was even drawing them. Okay. What is a special message to not forget and an extra hug from your inner child? I wanted just sometimes when we're hearing a message, all we can hear is kind of the harshness. And so I wanted, just before we go, an extra special message to not forget, and which I wanted your inner child to give you a hug. So. You know, I don't typically read from the book on these, but I'm feeling just a little inspired to read it more specifically. So the Eight of Shells, it's a really small book with fine print, so I'm just gonna read it here. It stands for Quest and Renewal. Starfish is the guardian of healing and regeneration. She disentangles herself from what she doesn't need and moves forth with the new pulse of life. She will teach you to maneuver successfully in a situation and to nurture your personal power. Starfish will help you discover your innate abilities to find new opportunities, in search of higher truth and possessing divine information from earth and sky. Starfish is reminding you to follow your own starlight. Flow with the waters of trust and be confident in knowing what is right for you. Take the time needed to rest and renew. Letting go, end of cycle, quest, renewal, healing, soul searching, emotional courage. So courage has now come up several times. Courage, and I think that one's courage too. I feel like you have been brave for so long that you haven't even noticed that you've kind of gone back into your shell. I think it's time to release. I don't know if you know, but in the winter time, elk will lose their antlers. And that's probably how he has those. Sometimes from hunting. But you don't have to, because they actually drop their antlers in the winter time. The male elk and reindeer and all that sort of stuff. Moving on. So this message from your inner child is talking about, I think it's time to start a new journey that you never thought you were going to start. You were looking off at this faraway castle, you know, just like Cinderella in the beginning of the movie. From her room, she can see the castle. Oh, you darn clock. I watched that movie a lot when I was younger. But maybe you're kind of having that sort of feeling, like you're just in rags. You'll never be with the riches. And it's kind of this sort of mentality that is keeping you here. It's time to let go of that anger. I feel like it has protected you for a long time, but now it serves you, it no longer serves a purpose. Because I always say, when you, I'm trying to even figure out how to start it. So the way we're going to respond to things when things happen to us is like when you, wow, this is my words. Okay. I always describe the way people react to the world as if they're being bumped into, and they have a, they're holding a cup. Now, however hot that cup is and how full that cup is going to represent their emotions. If they're getting bumped into and they just have like a full ice drink with the lid on and everything, like no big shakes. That person's like, whoa, no, it's okay, buddy. You take care of yourself. But if you have like a really hot coffee, hot tea, just hot, and it's in one of those lids that will pop off at just the slightest bump, you are going to be so upset, metaphorically, of this story. The contents of what is inside of us, the emotions that we are holding and walking around with. Are we angry? Are we grateful? Are we feeling blessed? Because when life happens, when someone literally bumps into us, figuratively, with their emotions, words, lack of connection and awareness, when that happens, the contents inside of our cup is going to be how we react. Pile 1, your inner child is here to say, I think it's time to be brave and courageous and move forward on something that you are terrified to do. Something that I think is so deep within you, you may not have even discovered it yet. So find out what your passions are, and be willing to explore them. Be willing to be patient with yourself. You have taken your inner child out of some really hard situations, but your inner child wants you to be reconnected. It's okay to start over sometimes. So, before I close this reading, I wanted to give you a quantum healing code. This quantum healing code is for your wounded inner child to be given the grace to communicate its needs to you. I'll say that again. This quantum healing code is for your wounded inner child to be given the grace to communicate its needs to you. Write this code down. It is 3 individual numbers creating one code. The spaces are very important. This code will help you hear the messages from your inner child. This card is talking about listening to the subtle signs. It talks about, you may be confused, like you may be asking the same question over and over again. Like the example it was giving is if you're pulling tarot cards for yourself and each time it's giving you a different answer. So you're feeling kind of confused, and I've been there. It's important to just calm your energy, take the 3 deep breaths, and ask your inner child what it needs. And like I said, your instinct is going to give you the right answer. So, pile 1, that was such a I really appreciated getting to channel your energy. I have a feeling that you were apprehensive about this message and kind of wondered if anyone would be able to even articulate what you've gone through, because maybe you haven't talked to anybody about it, or very minimally. So be there for your inner child and listen to their fears. And I think you're going to work through some fears you've had of what path to start. So I'm going to leave it there, pile 1. I really appreciated this. If you liked this video, there's a little thumbs up button you can get, click. And if you loved it, I would just love for you to subscribe to my channel and continue on this journey with me as I read tarot. This has been so amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to bring you your message from your inner child. So you chose this gigantic serpentine, which my wife and I so lovingly call a dinosaur bogey, because it looks like a gigantic fossilized dinosaur bogey. We we found it at a farmer's market where the people selling it actually mined it themselves, and so it was like $7, something insane like that. Like, this would hurt somebody if you threw it. So we've had this for about 10 years now, and it has just brought us so much renewal and constant protection. You know, I think it's supposed to be like representative of kind of a snake, and the way the snake renews its skin, and so protection, renewal, and so I'm excited to find out what your reading is. Goodness. There we go. All right. So today we got a reading for you. So the first card we have is the overall general message from your inner child. Know yourself. It is the most important of life's work. Express your independence. Let authenticity be your guide. Compromise is a part of every relationship, but when compromise pushes you to be someone you are not, a change should be made. There is an easier way to do things. Speak plainly. The horizon brings me joy. There is so much to discover. Unfettered by what is not mine, I speak my truth, and I am heard and heeded. Take headed? Take heeded. Headed, heeded. I am heard and heeded. I sing along with my wolves. In harmony, I am myself. I am Scatty. So sorry there, guys. So this card is really cool because this is a card about a story. I should actually say their real names. So Scatty is a Norse goddess best known in the mountainous parts of the region. Her mythos tell us that once married to a husband... Oh, okay. I was wondering why I didn't have a name. Alright, so I wasn't wrong. I was like, I should really get her name. So Scatty married her husband. And I think he lived in the ocean. and she was from the mountains, and it was very straining on their relationship and her basically personal and mental health. So they agreed for her to go back and move into the mountains with her wolves in the snow, and but they would remain married. This card is about being true to yourself. I have a feeling that you grew up having to be somebody you weren't, having to hide your true self. Maybe, I called you the black sheep of the family, which I don't know if anyone really says that anymore. Because good gravy, a black sheep, how beautiful, right? But this card is saying, like, your inner child knows that you haven't been able to be as authentic to yourself as you would want to be. And I think maybe you've come into that now. Maybe you're an adult and you decorate your home the way you want to, but that is the message we are here to touch on today. Let's go further though. Where is your inner child feeling neglected and ignored? Okay. So remember how I was saying the Serpentine stone really represents regeneration and, growing new skin? Your inner child is actually feeling neglected in the area that you fear change. I think you are afraid to, I feel like you're kind of afraid to change. I feel like you're afraid to change your circumstances that would actually match yourself more authentically, because maybe it would become apparent then to your family. Truthfully, this could be something like you're afraid to come out of the closet and live your life openly queer. Maybe you are already, but you are just not, your family doesn't know. Maybe you're looking to change your careers. Maybe your family has always wanted you to do something very like business oriented, or just something that was really good money, and you want to be an artist. Maybe you want to move. Maybe you live in a location that is just so not conducive to who you are, and you're afraid to leave your entire family. But your inner child is here to say, hey, hi, I think it's time to change things. Because I feel like you've kind of, this card, she's a woman of the mountains and she was living in the ocean. She had to change for her happiness. And I think your inner child wants you to do that too. But fortunately for you, I did ask how to amend and reconnect this issue. Put those over here. All right. Well, quite truthfully, your inner child is telling you so the way to reconnect and kind of amend this fear of change is to kind of release your fear that you have right now of losing security, financial security. So the couple things that were coming to mind is, one, You live with your family and you feel if you are authentic, you are going to lose this. Everything in your home is, your life is going to turn upside down. And what these cards are saying is you, by releasing that fear, you're going to be able to actually see what you need more. Because this card is actually calling for you to mother yourself more, to take care of other people less. And I think you've been really neglecting your own needs for fear of what you may lose. And honestly, these cards are kind of saying, move past the fear. You may lose some people. But if people don't want to be in your life because of who you actually are, then let them go. You can start living an authentic, true life. I feel like there's somebody you need to look up to, somebody who's going to inspire you, whether it's like a song or a movie or a book or a friend. I feel like you just need to find something that will kind of light the fire. Yeah, this is actually kind of saying like, release the fear, release the control. I think let the cards fall where they may, as they say. But so now, where is your inner child feeling seen and appreciated? Because, okay, so now you know that you need to be more authentic and you're fearing change, and the way to fix that is being more authentic, and you're like, okay, yeah, great, what next? Where does your inner child feel seen and appreciated, though? What's really sweet is the Page of Cups literally represents your inner child. So I think your inner child is here to say that it actually really feels seen by you. You allow yourself to dream and fantasize and believe in these worlds. It's like you're living in under the sea and envisioning this life on the mountain. Your inner child wants you to know that even allowing yourself to envision that is creating that future and creating that possibility. Like, yeah, you're afraid of losing things and change, and everybody is. But one place that you've really thrived is allowing your inner child to run free in your heart. This has a very Pisces energy. Pisces are always very lost in their dream world, and sometimes it's hard to be grounded. But if we can just remove the fear of maybe things not being so comfortable all the time, like there are things with growing up, like paying taxes and bills and things like loans and, you know, retirement. Like, that stuff can be very emotionally overwhelming. And something tells me you've kind of been fearing to step into that world. Which I relate to, so I hear you. But just start getting in touch with those authentic parts of you again. The parts of you that you that are connected to this. Because this is where your future opportunities are going to come in. This is through this avenue, through that spirit. Because through this spirit is when you're living your authentic self. So lastly, I wanted to know what a special, am I saying that right? I've been having a hard time. Special message, there we go. I want to know a special message to not forget and an extra hug from your inner child. So I don't usually read from the book, but the Spirit Tarot does have just kind of special messages. That's a tough one. So we're going to start with the King of Crystals, the Tiger. Courage and commitment. A master of prosperity, everything Tiger touches turns to gold. He's courageous and methodical in his approach to meet a goal and leaps upon a solution when challenged with a problem. Tiger is a natural leader and supports others in their goals while consistently working towards meeting his own. He's satisfied with his life and enjoys his peaceful place of retreat whenever he needs to unwind. Tiger is your guide in making a commitment to a long-term goal and reminds you that you can reap rewards just as he has done. Take pride in your achievements and be on the lookout for great opportunities. Keywords are success, courage, reliability, commitment, manifestation, ambition, protection, determination, security, luxury, and reward. So the King of Crystals, the Tiger, is here to just let you know that you're getting ready to jump out of this tower. You're ready to abandon ship, and you're feeling brave enough for it. I feel like you're finally feeling ready. Okay, so the Eight of Acorns is the eel. Energy and results. The elusive eel is a master of transformation. His surge of energy drives him to move in all directions and at great speed through the wild rivers of ingenuity. Highly observant, he quickly finds ways to adapt to new situations. When an opportunity presents itself, he strikes while the iron is hot. Things are starting to excel in action as you become fueled by the fertile fires of adrenaline. You've been making great strides. Eel will help charge you with energy as you move towards the fulfillment of your goal. Let enthusiasm lead the way as you make the most of opportunities. Keywords: energy, results, solutions, speed, activity, goals attained. I mean, if you haven't been picking up on that message, you're going after stuff. I think you're finally going to be inspired and feel the wheels of inspiration turning. You know, with the Page of Cups, it talks about taking an opportunity that is being presented to you. I think I think what I kind of see happening here is I think you're going to be yes, so I see an opportunity is going to be headed your way that is directly connected to your inner child's sort of wishes and dreams and the things that it's asking from you. I think you're going to have to be brave in this next part, because this next part is going to take a leap of faith and really getting in touch with that part of you that maybe you haven't been too confident in being public with. But I promise you that whatever this is, it is true to yourself, it is true to your inner child, and it's actually going to bring you the success of what you're wanting. It's going to bring the excitement and the movement that you've been kind of lacking. Like, I just see someone, like, I'm getting the vision of somebody who lives in their parents' house and kind of has everything taken care of. Like, you know, you got your iPad, your iPhone, and I'm just going not brand specific intentionally, just you have all your electronics, you have all the things, your food. I have a feeling you are kind of in this very comfortable environment, but it's not comfortable because it's not yours. It's not set up the way you want it to. You don't get to live life the way you want to. You don't get to dress the way you want to. Like, I'm getting that energy of you just live in a house where you're not happy. And it's so important to listen to that. When your inner child feels neglected because you're afraid of change. But the way to get over that and reconnect with that is just kind of get over your fear of, that sounds so mean, get over. Work through your fear of not being so financially secure. And this card talks about, like, in reverse, it's meaning you gotta stop mothering other people, stop doing other people's laundry, cleaning other people's dishes. I feel like where you live right now, you are kind of an asset, and you might be afraid to leave that situation because you know of what an asset you are. But that's scary. So, pile 2. Your message here today is that there's a change that needs to happen. Your inner child is kind of sitting there saying it's okay to grow. You're not going to lose that connection. It's actually your inner child that is kind of like, okay, come on, let's go. Because it's your inner child who's actually been like waiting for this your whole life. It's your inner child who's like, oh my God, when we go and we move out, we can do whatever we want. We could stay up late all night. We could, you know, have parties, and we can, you know, cook the food we want and listen to the music out loud we want and just create the environment you want. And your inner child wants that. And I think you can do it because it's your authentic self. So I wanted to give you, before I leave and close this reading today, I want to give you a quantum healing code. This code is, it's 3 individual numbers, but written as one whole code. The spaces are very important. So when you write this code down, it is, this code is for your wounded inner child to be given the grace to communicate its needs to you. Sometimes we can ignore our signs, and maybe our inner child doesn't always speak up as much as they need to. So when you write this code down, sit with the intention that your inner child is going to be giving you signs, and to pay attention to them and see where you can feel them, because we want our inner child communicating with us regularly. They're going to guide us towards our destiny and our purpose. So write that code down, sit with it, sit with the energy of your inner child, and talk to them about this transformation that kind of needs to take place. So pile 2. I appreciated this reading so much. I am so honored that you were here and willing to trust me to read your the energy for your inner child. So if you like this message, there's a little thumbs up button you can click. And if you love this message, I would just love for you to subscribe to my channel and be a part of this journey as I continue doing tarot readings. I hope this message brought you everything you needed to hear, and I'm sending you all my love. Thank you and have a great day. Bye. Hi Pile 3, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to bring you this reading of a message from your inner child. So you chose the Lapis Lazuli, and it's this beautiful blue triangular rock. I absolutely love this one. My mother-in-law got it for me, and it just, it's, when I meditate with this one, I get some really, really amazing visions. So this one definitely brings the energy of kind of like Mother Earth, like the ocean, and just that sort of comfort and calmness that I feel like we all need. So, all right. So I wanted to get some messages for you today. And let's get started with the first one. Is the overall general message. Do not get drawn into unnecessary drama. There are many sides to every story, so make sure you research a situation thoroughly before making a decision. Ignorance is no excuse. Choose wisdom and remove the old thorn in your side. Choose the positive flow of enthusiasm, fecundity, and passion rather than aggression, small-mindedness, and force. I am the hammer of wisdom. I smash ignorance, exploding smallness, expanding outwards. The thorn no longer in my side. I am Thorisos. So this represents basically Thor's hammer. It's a protective energy. And I think that's kind of what I was saying about the stone. This card is just calling to bring yeah, a sort of peace into your life, a protection. Like it says, don't even mess with unnecessary drama. Everybody's got drama, but one of my favorite phrases is, not my circus, not my monkeys. And that is what I have to say to myself when there's stuff going on that I kind of start getting myself wrapped up in, and I'm like, hey, is this even my situation? Does this affect me more than just me paying attention to it? So I believe this card is really coming in to say, just drama, let it go. Your inner child is like, hey, so yeah, you know how you can kind of get caught up in that drama? Let's not. Your inner child is kind of coming in and saying like, hey, just let's ignore that and protect ourselves. Not my circus, not my monkeys. So I wanted to know where your inner child was feeling neglected and ignored. So pile 3. Your inner child is kind of coming forth and speaking about how you may be judging people unfairly. You may be kind of moving through the world from a place of hurt. You know, anyone who is judging other people, we're just judging them from actually the place of how we judge ourselves. And I'm just getting the feeling that you were probably judged a lot growing up. You were probably criticized a lot growing up. And so it just created a sort of mentality of judging other people and kind of projecting your own fears onto other people. Your inner child kind of feels like you're not even honest with yourself. I mean, that's where those judgments of other people would come from. Is you not realizing you're looking in a mirror. People just mirror back to us what we think and feel, especially about ourselves. So if we don't feel very good about ourselves, we're not going to be very nice to the outside world. And not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows that. They think like they can totally love themselves, have high self-esteem, and be super critical of other people. And I'm just here to say, you can release that stuff because it's not from you. It's the way you were programmed and raised. Remember, release unnecessary drama. And unnecessary drama is judging other people and paying attention to other people. And, you know, if you really, really have that itch, that's what they created reality TV for, so that you can watch other people and they're giving you storylines and plot lines to judge. When we do that to people in the real world, it's not helping our personal growth. And even when we're watching reality TV, that's not really always going to be helpful. Watch those shows, and if you start having compassion for other people, you'll start having compassion for yourself. But I did ask specifically how to amend and reconnect to this part of you. Did you watch Daria growing up? Just singing the Daria song. Okay. If you've watched any of my previous readings, I'm wondering if this message has come up for you before. I'm gonna say this just bluntly and truthfully, and I think you need new friends. Because this Eight of Swords is, you know, the blindfolded person surrounded by swords, but can easily get out. Three of Hearts is Three of Cups, friendship, community. To me, this is just saying that you're kind of around toxic friends. And so that's why I'm asking if you've read any of my, or had any of my other readings, because I get this message every once in a while, and it's very strong of just, you need new friends. Because the people you surround yourself with are the people you become. So avoid unnecessary drama. Don't judge people unfairly, and a lot of that can come from the people we're hanging around. Interesting. But I wanted to know where your inner child does feel seen and is actually feeling appreciated. So where does your inner child feel good? Where is your inner child not like here to lecture and be like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what am I doing right now? All right. Page of Wands. Don't worry. We got this, guys. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got it. Okay. So where your inner child actually already feels seen and appreciated is in this area of discovery and exploration. So what's coming to me is you're that friend in the group who kind of is always like, you'll make suggestions like, oh, okay, let me try and think of something. So let's say your friends like to typically go to the beach on the weekends and just get drunk. And maybe you have been making more suggestions of like going to museums. Maybe you want to like take a class. And anytime you've ever made this suggestion, it's kind of always been looked at like, what? What are you talking about? That's not cool or fun. So I feel like you're the friend that would want to show up to a Halloween party dressed as a baked potato with some antennae for being Sputnik. Like, I feel like you have that sort of sense of humor. And I feel like your group of friends might not think it's very funny all the time and just kind of wants to like be cool. And this card is very representative that you may be still very young. Maybe even still in high school, college, early 20s, but you're young. And if you're over the age of 30, then let me tell you, youth is not a number. It is a mindset. So if you're over the age of 30 and still doing this with friends, let me tell you, find new friends. Because you ain't getting any younger, sweetie. So they will take your time, they will take your money, and they will take your enthusiasm and passion for life. And boo. Boo on them. Your inner child just kind of wants you to like leave these people. Like, I see somebody new coming in. It's like in the movie when I say the movie, but it's like in a movie when you see this sort of dynamic going on. There's a group of friends, and there's one that really is different and doesn't want to do the same things that their friends do, but they are friends. And if anything, they've been friends for a long time until they meet that new person. That new kid comes to school from out of town and shakes things up. That's what I'm seeing, is that you're going to have someone come into your life and kind of be into the same stuff you are. And it's going to be new and exciting for you. And I think your inner child is really wanting that for you. Your inner child just wants you to know that you don't have to be involved in unnecessary drama. But I wanted to also know a special why is this so hard to say? Special message to not forget. An extra hug from your inner child. So I asked what a special why does that not sound right? Special message. Special message. This is the third pile, and it's still difficult for me to say. So I wanted to get just a special message. Before we leave the reading. So the Two of Shells is really talking about just having self-love and respect, because that is where harmony comes in with loved ones. So I definitely am still seeing this idea of the people you're around are so negative that it's actually impacting your own self-image. So by removing those kind of friends, you will actually open the door for more friends. Good friends, loving friends, ones who are kind to you. The Two of Crystals reversed really is just saying you've kind of been impatient and probably thinking like, my entire life I haven't met this new person, and like I said, I don't get the feeling that you're too advanced in life yet, in age. So I feel you're still very young. So just have patience, because there will be a time period after kind of friendship breakups are really hard and they take time. So just trust that you're going to need that time. You're going to need that time. You're going to have some mood swings. It's going to be rough. Warn the people around you, like your family. The Four of Shells is just telling you that you do need this soul-searching time. You need to reevaluate your friends. You're gonna find something new. I kind of feel like a hobby will be a good way to take your mind off of all of this. But kind of, take that time to yourself. Tell your friends you need some time alone. Next time they invite you to go on a trip, just, no, I'm okay. Just start taking that time for yourself. Because the Emperor reversed here is a repeated message of standing up for what you believe is right. Having principles is important integrity is important. You know, tearing other people down is just no way to move forward in life. And this story is kind of just reminding you of that. Ace of Acorns is definitely giving that energy, that young, youthful energy. Like, you're excited. You want to do good things in life, and honestly, I feel like these friends have been holding you back. Like, actually, like, not fun, encouraging, adventurous, none of that. This is a very shallow group of friends that I feel like you could definitely grow out of. I think the Seven of Shells is coming in as kind of a last little reminder that you have so many options. Please don't feel like these friends are it, because they're not. You're it. You're the most important one. What you want and need is the most important part of this whole thing. I have a feeling once you kind of start to move these friends out, you're going to start seeing opportunities come up. The universe sees you as a creative, ambitious resource to bring forward love and creativity. Would you believe me if I said that one of our main purposes in life is to create and figure out how we create? Being authentic in that. That's the most important thing, is being true to yourself and not being around people that make you feel bad. Like, if that's not true to your nature and these are just the friends you've had, it's okay to move on. Your inner child is like letting you know, like, hey, there are better friends out there, by the way. And also, take some time. It's totally cool. Reevaluate. Soul search. That's okay. Stick up for what you believe in. And know that you are a creative force with so many choices from the universe coming to you. Pile 3, the universe is coming through for you today. Your inner child is like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, I made a huge order for you and I am serving it up. What's funny is when I was shuffling your pile, pile 3's inner child energy took a moment to step forward. Like, I actually had to call it in. Pile 1 and 2 was just like, oh, here, hey, we're here, hey, boop, boop, boop. Pile 3 was the pile that needed the extra cards, the extra hug. The other piles didn't get this many final cards. And when I got them, I knew instantly that you needed a little extra love today. You needed a friend to come in and say, hey, you know those people you've been hanging out with that make you feel like crap? There's a reason. They make you feel like crap because they're not good for you. I'd be really interested to know if you have gotten this message from me before. Your inner child is, what's funny is they're very shy, yet very outgoing. Like I said, I get the feeling you grew up in a very judgmental home. So you kind of learned to, like, make yourself smaller hide who you are. And your inner child is like, hey, yeah, we're kind of done with that. We're kind of done with that. That's behind us now. Yeah. You're actually really, really cool, and you actually are super, you're unique and funny, and I don't feel like you maybe let that part of yourself out enough, because you may kind of be worried about the judgment from your friends, and the fact that this is number 3 and this is number 3 are the connection of, you don't need unnecessary drama, and this is the unnecessary drama. You have goodness coming in. I feel like you're going to meet somebody new and it's going to be fun. You're going to meet this person, like maybe you're going to get a job or something, and you're going to meet them somewhere separate from these other friends. So it's going to be cool because you're going to have that own initial connection, and that's not going to be connected to this group at all. Pile 3. Before I close this reading, I want to give you a quantum healing code. This code is 3 individual numbers, but it is written out as one code. The spaces are very important. When you write down this code, just sit and imagine your inner child. Find that age that you need to connect to the most. Because this code is for your wounded inner child to be given the grace to communicate its needs to you. This will give your inner child the ability to step forward, especially yours. Yours was very shy and did not step forward immediately. We want your inner child to feel confident to communicate with you, show you signs. Ask your inner child to bring this person to you. Ask for this new friend. I feel like this new friend is coming, and I'm excited for you, Pile 3. You deserve good friends. Don't judge other people because we're only judging ourselves. Am I right? I'm right. So, Pile 3, if you liked this reading, there's a little thumbs up button you can click. If you loved it, I would just love for you to subscribe to my channel as I continue this tarot journey and helping guide you in your journey. So thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you all my love. Have a great day. Bye.